it's in Latin, and it's by a Renaissance composer. The last name is Arcadelt, Renaissance composer, who actually composed. Actually, he wrote this piece. It was actually based initially on a different piece of music, and then he took it and he added an additional part, and he composed this piece and made some other changes as well, and added the text, the Latin text. So the name of the piece that we're doing is Ave Maria, and it's by Arcadelt. Ave Maria by Arcadelt. It's a 4-part piece, mixed choir, SATV, very beautiful piece of music from the mid to late Renaissance. And so we'll talk more about that little piece later on after we get through all this. We'll come back to that. The second piece that we're going to be working on is a gorgeous arrangement of the traditional Catalan melody. The name of the piece is What Shall We Sing for the Child? It's based on that melody. Beautiful melody. As a matter of fact, that melody is really famous melody. It's been arranged by a variety of composers over the years. We actually sang a different version of that when we did, and most of you were around. We did the Carols and Lullabies. We did that was by Sousa. But anyway, this arrangement is really beautiful. It's even more beautiful than that one. This one's by Howard Helvey. Last name is Helvey. Howard Helvey, and it's just stunningly beautiful. It's also really unique because it's actually scored for mixed choir and piano 4 hands, believe it or not. So it's could be really quite unique. So that'll be the second piece that we'll be working on. The third piece will be a hymn arrangement, and it's going to be by John Rutter, Joy to the World. Joy to the World. And it's a piece that we actually did. We performed this piece probably about, 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So some of you might recall it, you may remember it, but if not, you'll really enjoy learning it. It's really festive and fun, and it's actually arranged in the style of like one of the Handel's Messiah's choruses. It's kind of arranged like if Handel were to have arranged it. It's really unique. The tune is written by Handel, but this arrangement kind of evokes like one of the Messiah choruses. So it's really unique. I think you'll enjoy singing that. You'll see what I'm talking about when you get to the arrangement and start looking at the verses. You'll see how, especially one of the verses is very much set with imitation, very much set like Handel would have written. It's really cool. So that's the first 3 pieces, and then the last piece will be just a very simple, the traditional hymn arrangement of O Come All Ye Faithful. It'll just be the traditional regular hymn, just like out of the hymnal, with a descant that'll be added in as well, but just pretty straightforward. So that should be really simple to put together, especially that last one. So 4 pieces: Ave Maria, What Shall I Sing for the Child, Joy to the World, O Come All Ye Faithful. So couple hymn arrangements, and Ave Maria is the Renaissance piece. Just nice. I think it's a nice variety of different songs and styles and tempi and periods. So I think you guys will really enjoy singing this. And just to let you know, this program, we're working on these 4 virtual pieces, and the program will encompass these 4 pieces. In addition, we're going to go back into our archives and pull out maybe a couple pieces, maybe 2 or 3 pieces from our past concerts. So we've been recording all of our concerts, all of our Christmas concerts, and we actually have a lot of really good material. We have, we did the concert this last December, but Before that, we also did a Christmas concert, and like we had the Old Magnum Mysterium by Lauritsen, just a lot of really wonderful, beautiful pieces of music that we have in our archive. So we're going to go back and probably pull out a couple pieces, maybe 2 pieces or so, and add that into this collection. We'll also have a couple of solo selections as well. So we're going to add all of that together and kind of create a virtual Christmas program, Christmas concert program. That's how this is going to take shape. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously, I'm really excited about these virtual projects, and I'm really excited that we can keep making music, right? We're not going to let COVID get us down. We're going to keep making music because we have to. I mean, it's in our blood. It's, if you're like me, you love making music, you love singing music like these pieces, and you just got to keep going. And I'm so excited about this. We'll be able to get everyone included in a very safe way and make some really beautiful music. So anyway, so that's kind of just a snapshot of what we're going to be doing and what the plan is. And now I'm going to turn it back over to our VP of Performance, and then I'll come back on later on.
Emily, really quickly, will you just copy the link for Andrea? There's no waiting room here, so I'm not letting anybody in. She just has to get in. So maybe copy the link for her if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know you haven't received the score, you haven't received the guide tracks, because I wanted to kind of show you around the resource first. And I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to kind of take over your screen and kind of show you a couple of things. So we have a member page, and we have a few new members too. So let's go here and kind of go through the back end, and hopefully I remember the password. Uh-oh, what happened? It's not thinking. Oh, okay. Sorry, user error. Okay, so you go to houstonchoral.org, and if you remember the password, go ahead and type it in the chat for the new members to the member page as my internet chooses to move slowly. At the very top hand right, you're going to see chorus member login. So for those of you that haven't been here in a while, or those of you that are new, it's been a while for all of us, right? So if you go to Zoom plus this, it's just causing it to lag a little bit. So if you go to chorus member login, you have a little spot here where you're going to enter in a password, and hopefully I remember it. Yay! Okay, the password, if you don't remember it, is that. I just typed it in the chat. And you type it, and then you get to the website for the members only. So if you go down here, there's a Google Calendar, and on the Google Calendar, you'll see the invites for the upcoming rehearsals, and it also is where you can find the Zoom link. So if you ever forget, I really don't want to need to email it out every time, so if you can check here. You can even add this Google Calendar to your own calendar, which is nice as well. Just plus the Google Calendar if you can figure that piece out, but it's right there. Down here, I'm trying to find where Nicole stuck it for me. Nicole, where did we stick it? Oh, right here.
For mute, you're looking for the button. It's yeah, it's right there.
Okay. Haha. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Okay. Access our virtual projects. So everybody can actually see this now. And I think Linda, a couple people found it behind the scenes as they were searching around. If you see something wrong, I'm sorry, tell me, I'll fix it. So I put this together because I thought this would be an easy way, as opposed to like a document, for us to access everything that we needed. And if I needed to add things to it, then I could. So you can bookmark this page when you get to it. And I did go ahead and put our Star Spangled Banner there that we did, because I thought this was just wonderful. And if you want to remember it or be able to access it quickly, it's right here. And so you can go up here to the calendar, which is the same Google Calendar that I already showed you on the member page. You can also scroll down to go to specific sections quickly, or you can click this link here. So for the first virtual project, you'll notice I've only posted the first virtual project. I might add the other pages in. I just have to talk to Dr. Klutz about it just to see, because he may want you to like focus initially, etc. Because the Ave Maria, actually, he had to like change things on the score. There's ones written, even the Archidelt, like it's different keys or different notes, and he had to make some edits. So you don't want to go, say, on YouTube and you're like, oh, I think I found rehearsal files, and then you're practicing the wrong thing. Right? So you just want to be careful of that. And that's, you know, we could have sent the score out sooner, but then you might have found the wrong rehearsal files and learned the wrong pitches. So we have Ave Maria here. We have the schedule, score and guide tracks, check your equipment, recording aesthetics, recording tips, and then submitting. Now, so for this schedule, this is very similar to the calendar that I sent out before, but this kind of puts it just in one spot for you. And today is when you're going to receive the music and the track for the virtual song number 1 for the Ave Maria. Next Tuesday, we'll have a rehearsal. And later this week, we'll send it out to you, but we're actually going to do sectionals. And so instead of you just sitting around, we're going to separate it into 20-minute chunks. So each section will have a time that they arrive, and they will rehearse with Dr. Klotz for that time in their section. So we'll send a link, I'll send an email out later this week, just letting you know what time you should come so that you don't, you know, you can do what you need to do, right? And actually, Dr. Klotz, if you could post that in the chat, that would be great. He has the times for you. So score and guide tracks. So you'll click this little button here to get the score. When you click it, it'll pop it up and you can download it, you can print it, you can look at it digitally. Whatever you so choose. You'll notice that it is very marked up, well, when it loads. And there are rests written in, etc. So I would print it. That way you can notate things during your sectional, etc. And for the most part, it's pretty straight in terms of tempo, because it's kind of hard to do that without a conductor. But a lot of great notations already on here. So you'll want to print that when you can. Then down below here, there are all of the guide tracks or the clap tracks. And I don't know if you know this. I know that some of you might feel stupid, you know, when we did the Star Spangled Banner, the whole clapping thing, but it's actually essential, because when the audio editors line these up, they use the clapping. So the clapping is like very, very key to lining up all the different audio files. So there's a YouTube version and there's an audio only version. I know some of you like to listen to this in your car or plug it into your phone and listen to it without having YouTube open up. So you can actually, we have temporarily for this fall, paid for a Dropbox subscription so that it would be really easy for us to, 1, upload all of our files, and 2, access them easily as well. So for all the voice parts, you have your items here. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me a question. I want to make sure if you have something, you're able to. Okay, and Dr. Klotz obviously put the times for next week in there.
Audra?
Yes.
The sectionals, Kevin's going to do the sectionals?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just want to know that okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, so then the next thing that we have here is check your equipment. So we could not, so when we did the Star Spangled Banner, we used Brian Billacura, who's played accompaniment before, who did the rehearsal tracks for us before, and he is doing this first project, and he's also doing the audio editing for the 4th project. But it is way too much for just one person. So we've had to kind of break up the workload. So another gentleman named Ryan, funny enough, Ryan and Brian, Ryan is going to be doing the audio editing for the 2nd and the 3rd one. And he has asked us, and he says he is able to edit the audio the best if we submit 2 files. So it's it adds a little bit of an extra element on here, in the sense that he wants an audio file and he wants a video file. so that he can get the best audio, because when you record the audio using your like phone's video, the audio isn't as good as it could be. And so he actually shared with me this form, which is really helpful. And let me just give you quick an example. So if I'm going to record using my iPhone, I would click here and I would click next. And then I could watch these different little videos, and he actually made them showing the different ways to use voice memo. And there's actually a little setting you can do in voice memo on your iPhone that allows you to uncompress the audio, which makes the audio quality even better. But it's a lovely how-to there. Do I have an external mic? Oh, no, I don't have an external mic. Do I have something that's not attached to my phone? No, I don't, unless I'm fancy and I like to record myself for fun, which I don't. So I'm going to say no. And thankfully, I am part of the 90% of people who do not have an external mic. And so then it shows me like where on the iPhone is my microphone, because you want to make sure that when you record. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but it kind of helps guide you. Like if you're going to use an Android, if you're going to use an iPad, so that it really walks you through this process. Okay. Now I'm going to be honest. Ideally, if you have a friend or somebody and they're able to video you at the same time you're recording the audio, that is ideal, right? Because then you know that no matter what, the way your mouth is moving matches the audio that you just recorded. Does that make sense? So if you happen to have two devices, one that you can video and one that you can record audio only, it will help you, because, I mean, it won't actually help you, it'll help the editors, because they don't have to worry about the mouths lining up, okay? But again, I'm here, my cell phone is on all my emails. You can always reach out to me, and I'm really, really happy to help or clarify.
Audra, I have a question on that.
Yes.
What if we set up two separate devices, one for video, one for audio? They're stationary and no one else is holding them. Would that work? And just record that at the same time?
100%.
That's good? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there's a couple of, like, even on your computer, if there's a couple of devices that you can, or apps that you can download to record your voice or record your video. It may just take some experimenting. We're kind of in this for the long haul, right? We're doing 4. So once we figure it out this first time, we're good to go. And like I said, you can do your audio and then do your video, but just know that if you can do them at the same time, we'll have a better end result. Recording aesthetics, fancy word for, why is it trying to take me somewhere else? Yes, I want to leave. Okay. How things look, right? So my lovely background pictures. So you would like a plain background, preferably away from fans and hard surfaces and air conditioning vents. So make sure your air conditioning cycles off before you start. Carpeted areas are best, and avoid rooms with echo, okay, because we can always add that stuff in later. When we did the Star Spangled Banner, we had most people do it landscape, but a few people did it portrait. So I just wanted to clarify that you want to record your video in this landscape mode. So wherever you have it set to do your video. And this is a random picture on the internet. I don't know this person, but the frame of his face in his shoulders is where you should be, right? We don't want you like just your head, and we don't want like everything, right? So you really just want to get it in that frame. And you want to have that landscape mode because it allows the graphic editor person to come in and do what he needs to do with, or what she needs to do with your video. And we want to just go with try to go with like a plain shirt of some kind that doesn't blend in with your background, right? Because sometimes patterns can be a little bit more distracting. And then I think that's it. Any questions on this page for you guys? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have a question.
There are a couple of questions in chat.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, my current. So I think we're going to try. Alice asked, do we separate them, or do we just do this? Do we do this for just Ryan, the second and third, or do this for all of them? I think it would be best for us to try to do it with all of them. That way, one, we get the hang of it. And if Brian is able to do better things with our audio, then go for it. I've talked to him about it, and he said, you know what? I didn't need 2 files, but let's try it because maybe this guy, because this other guy has like supposedly all this like higher tech stuff. Seems like it just makes it more complicated, but you know. But I think Brian, who worked with us the first time, said, let's give it a go. Maybe there's this end result we can have with this music. That'd be great. Landscape recordings. So
what if we have a video camera that we just mount on a tripod? I mean, I don't think there's a landscape mode in there.
Yeah, I guess, Alan, if you just use a video camera, then that's fine. Maybe just give yourself a little span, you know,
Okay.
on the sides, so that it's not like that. Can you see me? Because I'm doing it,
Yes.
you can see me. Okay. I'm charading it for you. But yeah, I would just give yourself a little space on the sides if possible. Howard, I don't know your answer to that question. I can find out. I think we're not wearing all black just because there's sort of a, what's the word? Something very kind of cool about seeing everyone in their home elements, even wearing different things. It gives it some charm. And so that was just something we were thinking about, and black isn't great for video. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's see what else. Okay, we are not. Thank you. Someone in the chat asked, do we need a third device to watch Dr. Klotz conducting? And we have determined this time around that we are not, I mean, he is going to be conducting in the final version, but we have decided that we are not going to have you watch the conductor because in talking with Brian and talking with Ryan, the idea is that we can get a potentially better result with not watching all these multiple places at once. I don't know about you, but it was like, one, I'm trying to look at the camera, I'm trying to read my music, and I'm trying to watch Kevin conducting here, right? So we decided to leave the conductor out of that part of the process. But what we did do is we added in vocal tracks. So instead of having piano, you're actually going to be singing along with one of your fellow choir members. So it allows us to have endings that are similar, even changing to vowels a little bit more similar, and kind of ensuring that we have better phrasing, better dynamics, especially the cutoffs, right? Because when you're matching a voice, it's much better than matching like the sound of a piano playing your note, right? So we're doing that a little bit differently. Now Kevin will be conducting in an image, but it's not going to be, we're not going to be watching it when we record. So that's one less step to worry about. You'll just need the music and just try not to turn too many pages, right? Let me see. Yeah, so Holly, that you talked about, there was a delay. We won't have it anymore because I noticed that too, that there was a delay with the conductor and the guide track, right? Like sometimes it would jump and you would either think, oh, am I behind, or like what's happening? So we won't have that issue anymore. Okay, now the recording tips, just a few little pieces here. Record 10 seconds of dead air at the start and the end. This allows the audio editor to kind of hear any outside noises like air condition or fans or anything like that, and kind of eliminate that from the audio track. And don't be shy. I know it's really hard. We're very critical of ourselves when we record like this. And just remember, you are going to be joined with the rest of the choir. So just don't be shy. Sing as if you had everybody around you. And I think it'll actually be better now that we're singing along to a vocal track, right? At least you won't feel like you're totally by yourself anymore. Yeah. Beth, what about a closet? That might be an option. Sing as if they're right next to you and don't overcompensate. So when you look at the score, you're going to see all these markings. And then next week, when Dr. Klotz talks to you, and the next week after that, he's going to give you some more interpretive nuances that he wants to convey. So just make sure that you kind of respect that, right? Sometimes when we're singing and we're so concentrated and we're kind of stressed because we just want to make sure it's good, we lose the dynamics, we lose the phrasing. And especially in the Ave Maria, which is a Latin piece, and you know, an earlier, like has that earlier music sound, and it just needs that phrasing, right? The stressed and unstressed syllables of the Latin text. So you really want to bring that out and feel that in the music. Okay, and then last but not least, I feel like this is the easiest piece, is that to upload your files instead of doing WeTransfer. And again, you can access this website on your phone or wherever you know, record your device. You're just going to click this, one of those buttons. So this is the audio file button, and you'll put them in separate folders so that you keep them separate, and you'll just literally hit the plus button and you'll upload, and it'll tell you audio file. Because guess what? The audio files are going to our audio editor and the video files are going to our graphic digital editor. Okay. So you can always check. I'm here, I'm doing the audio file for project 1, and you'll just click the plus button. And if you're on your phone, you'll find it in your files or wherever it is you saved it. If you're on your computer, maybe you'll look where you downloaded it, whatnot. And you'll just attach it there. You do want to try to change the name of it before you attach it, because we really need to know your name, especially on the audio file, right? On the video file, I can look at you and I can tell who you are, but on the audio file, that's a little bit harder. Okay, so just rename your file with your name and your voice part. So the same thing works for the video file. You'll click that, it'll open, it'll say video just like the audio did. It'll say Virtual Choir 1, and this is where you will upload your video file. We've kind of streamlined this process, because before, when y'all sent it via WeTransfer, I had to go in, download each individual file onto my computer, drag it into Google Drive, and then Brian had to then download it from Google Drive to put it on his computer. And we've streamlined this process, which I think makes it a lot easier for those that are dealing with everything. Somebody asked, why do we want to absorb a bunch of sound? Because we really want a clean audio. We don't want any reverb. We don't even want any echo, because when it gets to the editing end, this is a choir performance, not necessarily a solo performance. And so we want them to have a very clean audio file to work with. And remember that you are not picking up the guide track when you record. What that means is you have the headphones in and you are listening to the vocal track of your section, and you're making sure that it's not being picked up in the recording. So we shouldn't hear 1, 2, clap. No, you should just start clapping. There's some magical thing that we can't tell that you're hearing. So in the video, you will see your headphones, and that's totally okay, unless you can hide them, you know, unless you're Alan with your wonderful mega headphones. Okay. Yes, you will get a response that I think it's received, I think as well. Leslie Ann. Okay, so that's everything. Does anyone have any, and again, this is on the member dashboard under click here, and password Hugh Coral 19, no password to access this. I will add more tabs as we do the other virtual projects, so that it will be continuously here for you. If there's something that's not on here or that I need to add, I can do that as well. So feel free to reach out to me, and I am happy to answer those questions. Does anyone have any questions at this time? No, actually, I'm not sure, Linda. Linda asked, do we need a third device to listen to the guide track? I don't think so. I think you can record your video, for instance, and have the audio playing in your head as well. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so I am going to pull up the score, and while I'm doing that, I'll let that way y'all can all follow along on the screen with the score, unless you've just printed it while I was talking. Multitasking back there. Hopefully you're paying attention. And then I'm turning on original sound, and I'm going to play the SATB version of all the parts. And it might be, it's not like the greatest quality, but at least we can kind of sight read through the piece and go from there. So I know, Dr. Klotz, do you want to unmute yourself? And then while I get the other stuff ready.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go through the score just a little bit. We're going to play it. We're going to play a recording. You're going to look at the score. And so before we do that, let me just take a moment here. I want to, as I think Audra mentioned, that we have 4 singers that have already recorded the parts, 1 soprano, 1 alto, 1 tenor, 1 bass. And they're going to serve as our model singers. So unlike the last recording we did where you were following the conductor, obviously we're not going to be doing that. You're going to be singing along with these model singers. And so we want to make sure when we're doing that, that we try to do exactly what they're doing. So in terms of the final releases, the starts, any medial consonants, the vowels, we want to match them as closely as possible. That'll be really important. One of the most important aspects is the releases. If we can get those releases to be right together with the model singers, that makes the editing process so much easier. When the releases are kind of raggedy, then he has to go in there and kind of align each one of them. So that takes a lot more time. So we want to make sure if we can all sing along with the model singers and do it, exactly just like that, hold the notes just like that, the crescendos, the diminuendos, we're going to be in really good shape. And I want to introduce we have the 4 singers that have recorded the parts already for Ave Maria. So I'd like to just introduce who they are. For soprano, our soprano model singer is Veronica Frankeny. She has done the soprano part.
Woo!
Riley Oliver is our alto model singer.
Woo!
Matthew Kent is the tenor model singer.
Woo!
And our bass actually was recorded actually by our production person, Brian Billacura. He recorded the bass part for us.
Woo!
So those are our 4 model singers. And so you'll be listening and singing along with those tracks, okay?
Okay, so I am putting up the score. And is that too far? Do I need it bigger? Yes, bigger? Okay. I'll zoom in. Kevin can attest. I'm not the best page turner, but I'm going to do my best. Okay. So I am going to start the SATB and guide track. Actually, let me make sure that the original sound is on. Okay, good. And anything else you want to say to us before we start?
Yeah, go ahead. I think we can go ahead and play it, and then maybe I'll talk about a few things afterwards.
Okay. Okie doke. Here we go. So if you'll mute yourself, Kevin, if you don't mind. Then I'm going to play. I'm just going to start it from the beginning because it's going to do like the clapping thing, and that'll give us a little bit of a
adult. Take a few seconds to get relaxed and ready to record. The first thing we're going to ask you to do is to clap 4 beats. You'll get 4 beats as a count-in, and then you'll clap the following 4. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Starting pitches, starting with bass and working up. Your turn to sing. Hold your pose at the end.
1, 2.
Santa Maria, ora pro nobis. Santa Maria, ora pro nobis. Santa Maria, ora pro nobis.
Now you're supposed to hold your pose and then wait for like 10 seconds and then move.
All right, you're done. You can stop.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, Kevin, it's all yours.
Okay, so a great job to our model singers. So just a few things I just want to mention real quickly. Just, you know, with regard to this particular piece. So maybe could we put that the music back on the screen, please, just so we can have it up there. But this is a Renaissance period piece, and so some sound ideals that we're looking for. Obviously, we want to kind of have a more centered sound with minimal vibrato, which at this pitch range should be pretty easy to do. It's pretty conservative in terms of the pitch range. Everything is pretty much on the staff and pretty much right in the middle of the voice. But we want to make sure that we're not, you know, singing with a heavy 19th century vibrato, but more of a centered, concise, very clear tone and minimal vibrato or no vibrato throughout. So that's the one thing I want to mention about just the overall sound. Number two, because it's a Renaissance piece and not something else, these bar lines that you see, for example, would not have existed in the original piece of music. These bar lines were added in later on by an editor who would, in an effort to make it easier to read. But initially, there would not have been any bar lines. Bar lines are great for organizing the music, so it makes sense to us, the rhythm and the metrical. But what it does, unfortunately, is it obscures the word stress. So sometimes the word stresses are not always on the downbeat. And so as a result, the bar lines can kind of give a false downbeat or a false accent. So when you're looking at the bar lines, try not to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, because those accented downbeats may not always line up with the word stress. We want to always do this with Renaissance music. We want to be like ultra sensitive to the words and the word stresses. And I think I've underlined all of them in all parts where the word stress is. So it would be Ave Maria, gratia plena. Now those line up on the downbeats. But now look at measure 7, 8, 9. Look at measure 9. 1 benedicta. 2. So it's not 1 benedicta. That would be incorrect. So the word stress is on the third syllable on B. So 1 benedicta. 2 benedicta. So be careful, okay? So just follow those underlined syllables, and what you want to do is slightly crescendo into them and diminuendo out of them. So that's kind of a good plan for that. So 1. Benedictatus. Or at the very beginning even, 1. Ave Maria, gratia plena. 1. Dominus te. So just try to follow the word stress. Don't punch them, but lean into them. Just think a little gentle lean into them, almost like a suspension in the music. You just want to lean into that suspension. That's the most important aspect of Renaissance performance practices, just following the text. So throughout the piece, just flip the R. But once again, follow the model singers. You want to follow the model singers. There's a few places where you can slightly roll the R, like gratia, or fructus. But once again, it should not be a very dramatic roll, like if you're singing the Verdi Requiem or something, it should be just, very reverent and kind of minimized. Once again, follow the guide track singers on that. The T in Latin, the T is not very aspirated in Latin. It's more of a dentalized T, where the tongue is like right behind the front teeth and touching. So not, let's see, like it's not tecum, but it's tecum. It's a very dentalized, soft, it's almost more like a D. So don't over explode those T's. You don't want to go tecum, but tecum. With your tongue kind of touching your front teeth, right behind your teeth, dentalized. And that'll give it a better sound. Once again, just follow the guide tracks. And then on the word, let's see, I think it's on the second page. On page 2, on the word sancta. Let's see, Audra, would you scroll to, let's see, top of page 2, I think. Yeah, there it is. So here, it's not Santa, but it's Sangta. Like, think of the word song, S-O-N-G, song, Sancta. And it's not just an N sound. It has more of that NG sound, the NG nasal. Your tongue in the back should rise in the back of your mouth. Sancta, kind of rises up. Sancta, sancta, ma, sancta, versus Santa, san, sang. Okay, so try to internalize a little bit of that as well. The O of ora should not be ora, but ora. And the stress is on the first syllable, ora, and not ora. It's not a diphthong, it's an o, okay, o. And a good way to practice that is just sit around all day long and just go o, and you'll start to notice more of the difference between those. So remember, it's an AW sound, not a pure O sound. Let's see. So I think those are kind of the main things. Those are the main things that you want to keep in mind. Don't let the T's be too explosive. Single flip on the R. If it's hard to flip the R, you can probably just omit it, and that'll probably be fine as well. Okay, just omit it. That's fine. But yeah. So the T's, sancta, the dynamics following that, the word stress, all of those different things will really make this really beautiful. And I know you guys will do really, really well with this. It's a beautiful piece, pretty easy to learn, but shouldn't be too difficult to pick up. And I think it'll be really fantastic. Let's see if there's something else here. I was going to mention, yeah, the amen. Look at the amen at the end. Once again, the guide track singers do this really well. But I've written in because, okay, so let me backtrack. So since I'm not conducting and you're not watching me, it's really challenging. Boy, it's so challenging. So what I've done is try to do this is I've written in, and on the guide track, you're going to hear the clicks. And so you'll kind of follow along with the clicks. So you have amen, So I've written it in. So on the men, just hold it for those 4 beats. Men, off. Okay, so the N will go on that next downbeat, which that imaginary next downbeat. Okay, so 4 beats on ah, 4 beats on eh, 1 beat on the N. Okay, on the N, and don't pop it like I just did. Don't go na. It's just just fade away. Okay, no popping on it. If we were doing the John Ritter Gloria and we're doing with a big brass orchestra, yeah, we might pop that in for dramatic effect. And oh, I missed that. But we're gonna do it again. Don't worry. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do that again soon. But anyway, so just a reminder on those little things like that. There's little things that'll make a big difference. And let's see. So yeah. So I think that's all I need to say there. Is there anything else I'm missing, Audra, that I need to mention?
No, I mean, I have a couple things to end us with, but that's
Okay.
it.
It's going to be great, guys, and really, really looking forward to this. I think it's going to sound beautiful, and I just can't wait to hear you guys all together and see you doing this. It's going to be just really, really fantastic. So just thank you so much for being part of this. I really sincerely just thank you. I know this is a challenging time for all of us. It's challenging in our world. It's challenging in our jobs. I know it's especially challenging for anyone that's in education right now, all of our teachers. And we have a lot of teachers in the Houston Choral Society. We have a lot of you are teachers or music teachers. And I know how challenging this time is right now. I'm so thankful that you guys are part of this. I'm so glad to have you guys a part of these projects here this fall. So I want to thank you for being a part of this and committing to doing this with us. And I know a lot of you also are in medicine, medical professionals, a lot of you guys. So thank you so much for everything you're doing for all of us, just to get us through this pandemic. All of you guys mean so much to me personally and to our world. And so let's keep on moving forward and make some beautiful music.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, George. And Brad, I'll add the full list of pieces to the website and go from there. And I'm not sure about a flyer yet, but I assume we'll be putting together some sort of graphic for all of this. So I know that will be great. So I wanted to show y'all something really quick before we end. And I don't know if y'all have had a chance to see it yet, but we were highlighted in the Houston, well, our lovely Dr. Klotz in the Houston Choral Society was highlighted in the Houston Chronicle. So just recently it was posted on Facebook an hour ago. So I just kind of wanted to put it out to you. The title of it is Q&A, Houston Choral Society's Kevin Klotz describes preparing for virtual fall season. And for those of you that don't have Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and put the Chronicle link there in the chat. But it's super awesome. I think there's several pictures of the choir, of Kevin there. It's great for us as an organization and just great for music in general. But I wanted to share that with you guys. Please if you have Facebook, go to Facebook and share it on your pages, and kind of keep our name in people's minds, and just as they kind of click through their social media, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's really, really good. So I would definitely look through that. We have a couple, we have about 3 new members tonight, and we have a couple returning members. So I just wanted to recognize them. I think if I put it on gallery view, did it just make you all pop up like the Brady Bunch? Okay, it's like that Brady Bunch, right? Like in the intro for Brady Bunch. Okay, some people are nodding, so I don't feel stupid. But we have 2 altos. Terry, could you wave so they look at you? There is Terry. Terry, would you mind kind of just introducing yourself and sharing how you heard about us and what brought you to us? Sorry, I tried to unmute you while you did too.
Greetings. I am very happy to be a part of this. I am a retired educator, special education mainly, and have been an amateur. I love the music, and I'm excited about the opportunity. I've been in church choir and Texas Master Chorale, and I'm just excited about being a part of this group and part of a virtual choir for the first time. So it'll be a fun challenge. But anyway, very excited to be a part of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Lily, you're up next. If there you are, will you wave and then unmute yourself and introduce yourself for us?
Hi, I'm Lillian. Let's see. What do you want to know? How do I hear about y'all? I saw an ad on Facebook advertising for virtual auditions. Got really excited. I haven't sang in about 10 years since I had my son. Haven't been able to commit time-wise to joining a chorus. So this virtual opportunity was just perfect for me. By day, I'm a project accountant or a general contractor. I have a bachelor's in music. I'm getting a second bachelor's in accounting. Hopefully I'll be done in January. And I'm very happy to be here. I love choral music, love Messiah and all that good stuff. So I'm really happy to sing.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Lily. And then we have another new member, Steve, who you might recognize. He came with us to Carnegie Hall. Steve, wave so everybody stares at you. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Go ahead and unmute and introduce yourself, please.
Hi all, Steve Pondell. I do recognize many of you from Carnegie Hall. It was a great time that we had, and we made some beautiful music in such a special place. Made a lot of friends out there too, so it's good to see everybody again. I've been singing at St. Lawrence for about 15 years in the 9 o'clock choir, but also for about 12 years in the St. Lawrence Chamber Singers. So I had a little bit of experience with performance singing, so I'm looking forward to a bigger group and some very talented people, because I know I've heard you and sang with you before. I did have a chance early in this version of my singing career to sing at the dedication of the Co-Cathedral downtown in, I think, 2008. And it was one of the first times I had a chance to get out there, as it was, and you know, that was a special thing, and I know how special all of these are. I'm looking forward to making some music with everybody, and hopefully in person rather than just on the computer. So thanks, looking forward to seeing everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Good to have you. And then we have, just so everyone knows if you haven't noticed, so Beth Franklin, a longtime member of the Houston Choral Society, had moved to Dallas, and her video is not working, so you can't see her because it is working, but she just doesn't have video. Nothing's wrong with her video. But I just wanted to let you know that oh, there, your video is working.
I'm actually on my phone now instead of my computer.
Ah, awesome. Wave, Beth, so people look at you, because there's like a lot of screens here. So Beth is actually joining us from Dallas because you know, there's a silver lining to virtual choir, right? So Beth is able to join us for our rehearsals, which is also great. Alyssa Orlando has joined us back. Alyssa just has her picture, so her picture can't wave. And I don't know if y'all remember, she couldn't make it tonight, but Shannon Colvin, does anybody remember in the alto section? She did one of the Messiah solos very soon when Kevin first joined, and she had
awesome.
Yes. And she, I think, moved, was it to Dallas with her kids and her husband?
Austin.
But okay, yeah. So she is actually joining us virtually as well. So kind of pretty cool. The silver lining of all of this is pretty neat. And I don't know, the silver lining for me is I didn't have to drive. Right? I don't know about any of y'all. It's not the same, but there is a silver lining. So just want to say thank you to everybody. If you'd like to stay on and chat for a little bit, you can. But that's I will email out the sectional times that Dr. Klotz posted in the message. Thank y'all all so much. And if I were you, I'd play with some of the recording stuff so you feel good about it. You got those rehearsal tracks. We'll have our sectionals next week, and then a 2D or full sectional, like full SATB rehearsal the next Monday, and then it's time to record. So thank you again so much. If you haven't filled out the registration form, please do. And I think we're up to, I think we've had like 73 register at this point, so that's great. Again, thank you for those of you who are able to pay your dues fully. We aren't, really able to have concerts and sell tickets, right? And virtual choirs are great, but they're not cheap. So whatever we can, if you know of anybody who is looking to help out the arts, please send them our way. If you have any questions or anything like that, please email myself, Audra Klotz. If you're new, Amy, are you here? Where are you on my screen? Not on my screen. I'm trying to find Amy.
Is it me, Amy?
No, the other.
Okay, Gainham.
So she's muted right now, but this is Amy Gainham. So she is our VP of Administration. So if you are new, she sends out the registration emails. She'll post things to the website. If you had questions about dues, you can ask her as well. But I just wanted to let you know, since we're not in person, to be able to see that.
No. Hello, everyone. Yep, we have 76 singers right now. Keep those registrations coming in, and email me if you have any questions.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. I somehow pinned your video. Oh, there it goes. I'll unpin it. Okay, cool, guys. I appreciate it again. Y'all have a great night. And it's 8:02. Which is almost an hour from when we started. We are under by 8:03 now, under by 1 minute to my hour that I committed to. So have a great night. If y'all want to stay around and chat for a little bit, I'll leave the Zoom open. Katie Barnes just got engaged, everyone. I mean, not now, but earlier. So congratulations to Katie. She's in the top corner of my screen. I don't know where she is in yours, but very exciting.
Audra, I have a quick question.
Yes.
We are only going to log in next week for our sectional, yes?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I came in at the right time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you, I might actually, I'm trying to think, people for instance, sopranos are first, right? So you'll just, aren't they first?
Second? They're at 7:20 to 7:40.
Okay, so that looks like it's second. Sorry. Yeah, so just get on. I would say get on a little bit earlier, and that way we're ready to go right at 7:20.
Okay.
And then you're done, so you don't have to worry.
Okay. And then Amy, if you could send me an email or for the dues link, I just need help logging on that because I don't know where it went in my head or where to do that.
Sure will. I'll help you out.
Too many things. You got to give me step by step, Barney style. Okay, too many things.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Well, we get a